How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to my FIFA 17 Fulham career mode. This is episode 38 now. Just before we jump into today's episode, there has been a couple of lorries going past delivering some building supplies to a house down the road. As I've started recording, they all left and then I started recording, so apologies if they come back because they're quite loud, but fingers crossed they've left, and for the next hour or so they don't want to come back and disrupt the video. Anyway, moving on forward, in the previous episode we of course defeated Hull City in our replay. Bettinelli got his game in goal and he kept a clean sheet, which means in today's match we have a quarter-finals against QPR in the FA Cup, and Bettinelli will of course get his game time again. I just want to quickly check the English leagues and I want to have a little quick look at how QPR are getting on. I assume they're in the Championship. I don't think they got relegated last season. They definitely didn't get promoted, and they are about 9th, so a mid-table Championship side, and we are fighting at the top of the Premier League. So in theory this one should go in our favour, and in fact just before we do that, well no, actually we're going to start our full strength team. I was looking at when our next game was and seeing if potentially we needed to rotate, but I think starting our full strength team will be okay against them. But of course Marcus Bettinelli will get his second game time. I didn't realise he was actually only 25 years old. I don't know why, I just assumed he was a little bit older than that. So he's actually got good development to growth, especially if we can train him up. And you know, as keepers in general get better with age, as opposed to, you know, outfield players that sort of decline with age. But generally an older goalkeeper is better. So yeah, Bettinelli's got some potential to grow here, and I think there was a couple of comments saying in the previous episode that if we got high-rated bids for Donnarumma, we would sell him. Now, what I'm going to consider at the start of next season, if I carry on the series that far, if we don't get much of a budget, and I feel like because I need to strengthen the team a little bit because we have struggled in areas throughout the season. Of course, a couple of players getting quite old as well, the likes of Ream and Parker, probably not going to be getting much game time in the near future. So I really want to start strengthening up the midfield. And the reason why I couldn't really do that this year was because of lack of money. And if we don't get a good enough budget for the start of the next year, I might actually be inclined to sell Donnarumma. He's only on low wages, but we'll get about 20 to 30 million for him, which will be huge for us. We can pop some of that into the wage budget, and we can look to bring in, not like high-rated players, but we can look to bring in a few more players and just add depth and youth to the team as well, because that's something we're struggling with a little bit as well. But more on that over the next few episodes. Anyways, we do come towards the back end of the season, but more importantly, we're looking to book our trip to Wembley against QPR. Let's go. And so here we are then. We are just one step away from the semi-finals of the FA Cup. This is the quarter-finals live at Craven Cottages. We take on Queen's Park Rangers. We don't want any more replays because as we saw in previous fixtures, we are struggling. There's the rest of the draws: Sheffield and West Ham United and Palace, Middlesbrough and Villa. So really some good, only one or two good sides left in there. West Ham and United are the ones that stand out. So if they slip up, or you know, we've got a good chance here, potentially getting West Ham in the semis, because it doesn't randomly draw the teams, which is a bit weird. Unless Sheffield Wednesday win, and then potentially United in the final, hopefully, if we get there. And of course if United get that far, which would be huge for us. But a semi-final place, taking Fulham back to Wembley, is nothing short of a dream this season. There is our lineup. Of course, Bettinelli following on from his good performance against Hull City. Of course, they being Premier League opposition, and he managed to keep out a clean sheet. Today he's only facing a mid-table Championship team, so in theory he should still be able to take out a clean sheet. But nothing is won on paper here in football, and as we know, anything can happen. We said we wanted a good cut run, and I'm happy with the quarterfinals, but really a semi-final would be huge for us. Take a quick look at the Queen's Park Rangers. They've got Nedum Onua. Jack Robinson's not a bad player. Patrick Bamford starts at front, the young Chelsea man. He might have signed there at QPR permanently, I'm not 100% sure. He's probably just on loan there, so he's a very good striker, and in fact of sort of, you could say, of Premier League quality still. So it'll certainly be an interesting test for the guys today, and we don't really want to be forcing a replay because we do struggle with stamina, and we've still got a few important games left in the Premier League which we don't want to sort of shift our focus from. Because we're still looking to win the Premier League title, but mainly secure a Champions League position, which could be huge for us. But saying that, winning the FA Cup would be big for us, and that would also, of course, seal a European slot for us as well. So we're in a very strong position here. We've just got to keep grinding out some results and hope other results also go our way. And let's see if we can get one here today against Fulham. We'll have, hopefully, the first attack here as Kearney plays it to Bunuel, and he'll play it into the box. And here's Lansbury, picked up a goal a few episodes ago. It was a thunderous strike from outside the box. I think that one was against Crystal Palace 2 episodes ago. And he got himself in a good position there. Unfortunately, just went a little bit wide. They haven't had any opportunities. And it looks like Umberkoto, or whatever his name is actually playing out as a winger. So that'll be interesting. Obviously likes to make runs inside, but tell you who does like to make runs, and that's Cabano. And he's going to go down here. Referee has to give a penalty for that. It's from behind, and he's definitely not won the ball there. I shouldn't have stopped. I stopped because I didn't think I was getting away from him. He then committed to the slide, and I just turned my back at him to make sure we definitely got the foul. I know obviously if I'd have carried on running forward, I probably would have got the foul, but because I'd stopped, I didn't really think to shift the ball forward. I thought I'd just turn around, and he's come through the back of me, and somehow he's got away with the ball. And what a ball that is, but whoa, interesting goalkeeping. And again, it's all go here in the first 20 minutes, and somehow it's still 0-0. Cherub's offside, fortunately enough for us. We've got ourselves a free kick. QPR have had no chances here. We really should have had a penalty, but Lansbury should have scored, and some dodgy goalkeeping has allowed us to have a few good chances here. And Hozabed with that chance, and Hozabed will took it away for 1-0. We are absolutely flying in this game so far. We are completely dominating proceedings here. We're going to hit a little bit of a dab because, hey, why not, right? Everyone loves a little bit of a dab, and we are at home, so all fares in love and more. And QPR have been atrocious here so far. We are a class above them today, and happy to have put Bettinelli in goal. I don't think he's really going to have much to worry about. It was a strange shot from Hozabed. He just he was looking like he was trying to hit that in the near post and ended up sort of squaring it across goal. And that's his 4th in the FA Cup. He just hasn't stopped. He scored in every round that we've played. He scored in the 3rd round. He scored in the 4th round. He scored in the 5th round replay. So technically he scored in the 5th round, and he has now scored in the quarter-final. And will that mean that he'll get an opportunity to start and score a goal in the semis at Wembley? Let's try and hold on to this one, see how QPR can respond now then. Like I said, they haven't threatened at all yet. QPR get the advantage. Is it going to be anything before half-time for QPR? 3 minutes have been added on, which is really their best spell of possession so far, but nothing to come from it, and that is half-time. So, as mentioned, we've been absolutely flying here in this first half against QPR. We could have really had 3 or 4. Lansbury should have really done better with his effort. Hozabed then tucked away to make it 1-0. We should have really had a penalty when Cabano was taken out from behind, but nothing given, and Hozabed could have made it 2 on the stroke at half-time, but just wide of the post. But it's all fair so far, and at half-time it's Fulham 1, QPR 0. So the other FA Cup fixture between West Ham and Sheffield in our side of the draw isn't being played till later, so we don't need to worry about that just yet. We're lacking a little bit of stamina, but I think because we just came out the blocks flying really, and QPR didn't really turn up, so we'll probably look to make some substitutions shortly, but so far I want to keep this team out and see if they can pop up a second goal. And Hozabed, I don't know why he's passing it there. I knew is really going to cut that one out. He was obviously looking for the run of Aluko, who probably was offside by the time he passed it, but I was looking for the run of, I think it was Cabano, who was coming in inside, so that's who I was trying to pass it to, but never mind, that chance has gone. We've got the ball back. There's not a lot of support up front here, but Aluko will just hold this one off. Is anybody making a run down here? Not really. Don't know where Sobi's got to, so Cabano will occupy that space. Sobi's actually come inside a little bit, and it's still Sobi here, and he's going to have a little bit of a stab, and that is a beautiful finish. That's where he was, waiting to pop up to do something like that as he runs over to the fans to celebrate. He doesn't score many goals, the young Sobi, the former Stoke City player that we signed at the start of the season. He's been fantastic for us, really. When he took his opportunity to come to the team, thanks to the injured Aite, he's been performing solid for us, and I was wondering where he got to, but he occupied the central midfielder space and just finesses it from outside. That's a beautiful finish. It's not great goalkeeping by Smithies, but I really don't think he had much chance. It flew off the surface, but there's a bit of groundwater And in fact, it wasn't actually as good as first thought. It wasn't right in the corner. So if Smithy's positioning had been a little bit better, he probably could have had a better chance of getting a hand to that. But as it were, he hasn't. And that is surely our place at Wembley booked for now. We are 2-0 up here against QPR, and we are in full control. QPR haven't finished yet, but Bettinelli looking for his second clean sheet here in the FA Cup. And you've got to say, he is in very good form here, that worthy of a spot to start at Wembley. We're probably playing West Ham United, but you know what? Why not? That's the risk we've got to take, and feeling confident because that is going to be the half-time whistle and a super performance for us here. We had plenty of chances in the first half to see the game out. We only went in at half-time at 1-0, which was a little bit of a shame. But in the second half, we doubled our lead to 2-0 thanks to a goal by... I actually can't remember who scored our second. I think... Oh, it was, of course, it was Sobey. And it was a beautiful goal from outside the box. How could you forget? Fantastic finish by him. Pumps us into the semi-finals at Wembley. That's where we're heading next. Thanks to this fixture here in the quarter-finals. It's finished Fulham 2, QPR 0. And so as you can see, West Ham, Sheffield Wednesday still haven't yet played. So we'll advance forward and we'll play our next game against Manchester United. And then, oh, they have actually now played. And West Ham won 2-1. So we'll be playing West Ham in the semi-finals potentially, unless it decides to mix things up. But although, you know, obviously in real life the draw is randomly picked, but for some reason in FIFA it just goes in order sometimes in the cups, but then again sometimes it doesn't, so who knows who will be playing. But so far we and West Ham, the two London clubs, are in. There is a third London club still in the competition, but they can have a tough quarters against Manchester United. So a second clean sheet for Bettinelli as well, all credit to him. So we shall advance forward. We've been awarded our prize money, which hopefully means that the draw has been made. It has, because we've got a match rescheduled. We've had a nice break here, actually. It's been about a 2-week break. There must have been an international break before we got to the game against Manchester United, which means we can do another training session, which is nice. And what we'll do is when we advance to the game against United, we'll take a quick look at the calendar, and we shall see when our semi-final is, as Cabana's attacking position goes up and Rossi's dribbling goes up, which is always very nice. So couple more days. So Sobey called up for Egypt and Johansson called up for Norway. Interesting, because Johansson doesn't get a lot of game time. The Reading game's been moved forward a couple of weeks. It was the 21st of April. It is now the 16th of May. So that's interesting. We've been awarded almost 500,000, which is very nice. Just going to really interestingly take a quick look at what our budget is. So we've got about 1,060,000, give or take, depends how you want to split it. So that's fair enough. We've actually achieved a target now for prize money, which is super nice. A couple of emails coming in. We've had a job offer from China, which we are... Oh, I think I've actually stored it. We're not interested in these, so I'm just going to reject them all, because it gets rid of them then. Press conference we're not too fussed about either, so we'll head into that game against United. We can actually squeeze in one more training session, which is very nice. It's a midweek game against United. Very interesting. Not quite sure why that is, when we've just had the week off for internationals, and then the weekend was free with no games being played until the Tuesday, unless of course there are more internationals being played that weekend, which could actually affect Man United here. If it's a couple of days after internationals, none of our players really went out. Ream wants to play, but I'm going to say no, not in a fixture like this. So as you can see then, well, we've got a game in hand on both United and Arsenal. Arsenal are now 4 points clear of us. Of course, we got overtaken by them last episode, I think it was, when we drew at Leicester. So we'll need to win this to close the gap to Arsenal, and then we are a further 6 points behind United. Obviously, they've got a game in hand. If we lose here today, that 6 becomes 9 with just 2 games in hand. So really looking like the title might be out of our reach, but there you go. I want to quickly, as I said, take a look at when our... Okay, so we've got City at the weekend. Now, we played both these clubs next to each other last time. We came up with a win against City and a draw against United. I'll be happy to do that again, but I'd really like some 3 points against United and then 3 points against City. Oh, bloody hell. Then we've got Villa midweek, and then we've got Everton at the weekend. So we've got 4 games in just 2 weeks. We've then got a week's break, Liverpool on Sunday, and then Aston Villa on Saturday. That's huge. And then a midweek game against Arsenal, which is, depending on how previous results go, could also be huge for us. Then Swansea, and then it's just game after game here. This FA Cup run is really taking us, it's taking a hit on us in terms of stamina levels, and compact fixture lists. But if you want to be champions of England and win the FA Cup and be serious about it all, these are the games you've got to win. We've got a full strength team available to us, so that's the team we'll rock up with. We're headed to Old Trafford then. Let's see if we can pick up all 3 points. So then we are live from Old Trafford for this Premier League fixture, and what could be one of the biggest games, a title deciding game in my opinion. Because of that compact fixture list, it's so hard to say that, I don't know why, but because of that compact fixture list, I've decided if we lose this game today, I'm going to sort of turn my attentions away from trying to win the Premier League and just focus solely on that FA Cup. Obviously, I'm going to keep my attentions on the top 4, but losing today, I'm going to focus more on the FA Cup. A win today, and well, I don't know what we're going to do really. You can see our away record is superb. Only lost 1 game from 13. We've won 9 and drew 3. Man United's away record is just as good as ours. They've picked up 30 points also. Obviously, United being the home team would have been interesting to show us their home form, but we haven't lost away from home much this season, just the once. Here's the Manchester United lineup. I recall last time we played them, they fielded a really weak team, and this time they've gone full force. De Gea, Smalling, Pogba, Harry Kane, Rooney, Herrera, Dybala, Griezmann's up front, I think it was, and they have just gone ham in today's fixture. We've fielded pretty much the same side. Donnarumma back in net for the Premier League. This is a very big game. Should United win this, I feel like they're really going to be too far away for us to really try and push. So we'll just focus on getting a Champions League spot, but more importantly, we'll commit a lot more to the FA Cup, because winning that will of course guarantee us European football next year. And hopefully some of the players will be able to deal with that one. And first of all, we've got to deal with Manchester United. And that is going to be a lot more difficult than, than any other game here. United obviously in good form because they are flying at the top of the league, you could say. And 7 minutes gone, Griezmann has took them in front here at Old Trafford. It's a fantastic... It's terrible defending, not going to lie. There's 2 of us there and Griezmann. Now, Griezmann obviously is a world-class player, but somehow gets between both Holding, I think it is, and Odoi. I think it was Holding and Odoi. Gets between both defenders and tucks that one home. Interestingly enough, we're 1-0 down here. That's cleared away. Hozebed chests it. Luckily, nobody there apart from Donnarumma. What is that distribution? I told him to pass it about 10 minutes earlier than he actually did. Pogba's won it. Here's Cabano, though. Bailly's still forward, so just trying to ease it off. He passes it out to Lingard, who now backs forward, and Martial is there. And Martial's not offside. Wow. I think this is goodbye to the Premier League title. Both Martial and Griezmann have now gone over to celebrate with Mourinho, which is quite funny. But 16 minutes in, and we are just getting dominated here by Manchester United. This is what we were doing against QPR. We weren't putting in the goals though, and I think it was Rob Holding who just ran him onside, which is a shame. He was very close to being offside there, but Martial has popped up with his 4th Premier League goal. It's United's 2nd hit, and with just 15 minutes gone, they're 2-0 up. So first half coming to a close here, 3 minutes to go, and it's all been United. They went 2-0 up very early on, and they look to threaten even more. We've been able to deal with the pressure. Donnarumma gets that one away. Lansbury's just going to boot that upfield, and just we need to get into half time here. 2-0 down. Could have been 5 or 6 to be quite honest. Smalling goes down, but there is the half-time whistle. A very, very dominant first 15 minutes by Manchester United, and really a dominant 45. All in all, this is not the result we wanted. This just gift United the title, really. Obviously, Arsenal can still challenge them now, and we'll have to back off a little bit, but good strong half from United to see them go up early on in the game, and we haven't really been able to bounce back yet. Half-time, Manchester United 2, Fulham 0. So it looks like every other team will be playing today, but later on rather than at the same time as us and Arsenal go up against City. Spurs play Southampton as a team we've got to watch out for, and Stoke play Sunderland. So really, they should be picking up victories there. I think we've about lost this game, and I'm tempted to make some changes because we have City at the weekend. Now, City haven't been doing as well, but if they field their number 1 team, they'll probably put in a shift as good as United, and we'll probably look to be losing some more points there. But so we'll leave this for now. I'll make some changes in just a moment. Smalling is there. McDonald forward, and Iheanacho's. Oh, he's done very well. He has done very well indeed, and somehow the on-loan City player, United fans won't like that if this turns things around. He's popped it with a big goal there. It's a lovely ball forward. I'm not quite sure what Chris Smalling is doing there. Smalling's gone to clear it, and Iheanacho's just gone, you know what, I'm not giving that up. And then as it drops to him, he just sort of finesses it into the bottom of the corner. It's his 6th Premier League goal, but we have pulled one back here. If we can get a point from this, I'll be very, very happy. But we have to go again now, and quicker, well, sooner rather than later, find that equaliser. Just got away with that one. 2 minutes added on. United in possession though, and I don't think, unless we get the ball back now, we can't. No time for us there. So what looked like it was going to be a battering by United, we actually were able to control the game and turn things around. We were 2-0 down inside 15 minutes. Could have been 6 really by the half. I was expecting it to be about 6 by the half, but we just settled things down. A little bit of pressure turned around in the second half. We were able to grab ourselves 1 goal, but that was enough. United then just switched back on again and saw the game through. So we've lost all 3. We've lost ground here on United at the top. It's finished Manchester United 2, Fulham 1. Those are the games, of course, saying that they've not yet been played. So with that defeat, guys, as I said, we're going to sort of give up on the league title a little bit. I wasn't expecting to win it anyway, but obviously I was chasing down United. We'll got a couple of emails. It's going to be Reem who says that he doesn't want to. He wanted to start. Sorry. Iheanacho scores at last. Of course, it was how many goals? 5 games without a goal for Iheanacho. It's not actually that bad. We'll advance to the City game, and so really our main focus now is going to be on winning the FA Cup, and if we can stick in the top 4, we will do that. But it's not going to be easy. That's going to be the end of today's episode. We'll quickly, before we review the Premier League table, we'll take a quick look at the FA Cup, if it switches over to the FA Cup without switching back. There we go, FA Cup. So, alright, so I was wrong, and in fact it has shifted it around. Aston Villa went on to beat Middlesbrough. Now they're at the bottom of the Premier League, fighting relegation. I think Middlesbrough are actually back into the Championship in Season 2. So Villa are going to be a Premier League opposition in the semis, but a little bit easier than what it could have been, because over in the other semis it's West Ham, who of course beat Sheffield Wednesday, against Manchester United, who beat Palace on penalties. So that's going to be a tough side of the semis. We've definitely probably got the easiest draw there out of all of that. I thought we'd go on to get West Ham, but we've picked up Aston Villa, which is okay. And so everything I just said earlier about, oh, it doesn't draw it randomly, just completely ignore me, because obviously it does. So you're probably all sat there thinking, yes it does, and yeah, it does. So yeah, we've picked Villa up in the semi-final. That is going to be huge. We knew that anyway because I checked the fixture list. It just didn't register, but there you go. Not been very switched on this today, have I? So interestingly, so West Ham United in the other semi-finals. We'll see if we can book our place in the finals. But we are going to Wembley and we are taking on Villa. Let's have a quick look at the end of the Premier League table then. We've of course got a game in hand, but United now extend their lead at the top of the table. They've got 57 points after 29 games. They are 4 away from Arsenal and 9 away from us, but we've only got 1 game in hand. We could close that gap to 6, but at this late stage against United, 6 is probably a lot. Their goal difference, of course, swings back into their favour now, as opposed to ours. Our goal difference actually isn't that good considering, but none of the goal differences are. Quite a lot of goals being conceded this year, but there you go. So Arsenal occupy that second place as well. We're now 5 points off them as well. So we're obviously with 1 game in hand, but it's not going to be easy. to catch them back up. Spurs are level with us on points and games, so we're only ahead of them on goal difference, so we've got to watch out for Spurs really. Stoke are closing in on us, but they have also played an extra game. Chelsea are only 3 points off us as well, and they've played the same amounts of games. So between the top 6, and in fact Liverpool are in the same position as Chelsea. So the top 7, between 3rd and 7th, it's all very, very close. You could probably discount Stoke from that, but we've got to be a little bit careful that we don't slip down to 7th with picking up a couple more defeats. But there you go. It's going to be a tough end to the season. Palace in 8th and West Ham 9th. Watford in 10th place. City, who really are struggling, we've got next, are down in 11th. That's good news for us. Sunderland, who had a good start to the season, have dropped over to 12th. Everton, Swansea, West Brom are 13th to 15th. Southampton have started to get away from relegation, but again they've played an extra game. They're up to 16th. Leicester drop into that battle zone, down in 17th. Villa, who we've got in the FA Cup final, are in relegation, of course. And Burnley and Reading still struggling. And as we keep mentioning, it's probably all but over for them, really. Anyway, that's going to be the end of today's episode. Be sure to drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it. Why not subscribe as well if you're new around here. And until next time, goodbye.